Hi! This video is going to provide insight into how to edit a transcript efficiently. A transcriber or an editor listens to the audio and types a dictation usually on the word processor. When you're in production, you will be trained to use a web-based application for delivering the final transcripts. But for training purpose, we need a word processor and an audio player. So for editing the transcript, we use MS Word, and to transcribe audio recordings, we use Express Scribe audio transcription software. We load the audio on the Express Scribe and the automated machine-generated text to MS Word. Transcription foot pedals are optional, but foot pedals make you transcribe faster because you can simply tap the pedals to fast forward or rewind the audio as you are editing. For those who don't have foot pedals, there are shortcut keys in Express Scribe to control the audio. It can be tedious initially, but you can speed up by practice. Here is an example of a machine-generated raw transcript. It is not 100% accurate. There will be missing and incorrect text. It doesn't use proper punctuation and doesn't identify the speakers correctly. That is why editing is important in transcription. An editor's job is to punctuate the transcript properly, correct the misheard, mistyped, and misspelled words, and insert the missing words. You might come across terms, names, places you have never heard before. Simply guessing doesn't work. Do search for unfamiliar words like company-specific terminologies, financial numbers, speakers' names in the research document. Even if the dictation is clear, you have to refer the research for 3 important things: participant names, financial numbers and terms, company-specific terms and products. Now let's see how to use a research. We usually paste the whole document of the research, also the press release PDF and the presentation slides in the browser so that the search will be easier. Click Ctrl F and you can search for a term or a phrase and the results will be highlighted. When you encounter an unclear word, listen to the word a couple of times, make an intelligent guess, look for clues in the context and see if the word fits in the sentence. Only if you understand the context, you will be able to guess the word, so following the context is very important.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of BASF, I would like to welcome you to our conference call on the second quarter results. Throughout today's recorded presentation, all participants will be in listen-only mode. The presentation will be followed by a question and answer session.
Next, you're going to see how to add participants. We know that an earnings call consists of presentation and Q&A section. Management speakers will be introduced in the presentation section, which is a discussion of financial results between the executives such as IR, CEO, CFO, COO, etc. And analysts from various companies and individual investors are introduced in the Q&A section. Now, whenever a new corporate speaker is introduced in the presentation, we should ensure his or her name, position, and the spelling is right. There should be a proper reference from the research and from the company's website. When you're editing a file in our production software, you will have options to add and modify the participants' names. Since we are editing the transcript in MS Word, we add the speakers' names directly by naming them along with their position. Now let's see an example of how to search and add corporate speakers.
Financial Officer. Please be aware that we have already posted the speech on our website at basf.com/Q2 2021. This brings us to the point where Martin begins with the speech. Tin begins with a speech.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today.
Whenever an analyst is introduced by the operator, you should have a check from the research. If the name and their affiliation are unavailable in the research, we need to search for the analyst's name along with their affiliation in Google from a reliable source and not just from any website. Now let's see an example of how to search and add analyst speakers.
I hope that answers the question.
Thanks a lot.
We will continue with Laurent Favre, Exane BNP Paribas. Favre, Exane BNP Paribas. Laurent Favre, Exane BNP Paribas. Following BNP Paribas. Following him we will have Paribas. Following him we will have Tony Jones. Following him we will have Tony Jones. Then we will have Tony Jones, then Charlie Webb, and Jones, then Charlie Webb, and then Andreas Heine. Charlie Webb, and then Andreas Heine. So now Laurent Favre. Andreas Heine. So now Laurent Favre, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Stephanie. Morning all. My first question is on that normalization in the upstream.
Most of the conference call begins with conference moderator or host who introduces the management team and initiates the Q&A section. So whenever an operator speaks, even if you know the operator's name, you need not name them. Instead, just add the participant as operator. Now even after so many attempts, if you're unable to find the speakers' names, put unidentified speaker for corporate speakers and unidentified participant for analyst speakers. Now let's say if the word or a number you're searching for is unavailable in the research document. For example, we have to search for industrial solutions chemicals, and if you're looking for an exact match, instead of just searching industrial solution chemicals, we enclose the company's name in quotation marks and then search for the word or a phrase. You'll only get results for the exact terms you entered in the order you entered them, and you will get the search results that are related to the company and can avoid other irrelevant results. And choose your keywords wisely. Select descriptive specific words or even phrases. For example, if you're not hearing the word Golden Isle properly, instead of searching for Golden Isle, search for big investment in China in Golden Isle. You have to know the right keywords to type in.
CapEx 2022-2023, that is stepping up. That's always what we said, because then the big investment in China and Golden Island will kick. In China and Golden Island will kick investment in China and Golden Island will kick in. China and Golden Island will kick in. I cannot give will kick in. And Golden Island will kick in.
If you're not able to figure out the words or numbers after several attempts, insert timestamps so that after end of editing you can go back to the particular part of the audio and fill the blanks. Now let's see how to insert a timestamp in the document. It is advisable to put timestamps for every speaker change for unclear words. Inserting timestamps by typing them manually is time consuming. Timestamps can be done automatically by copying time feature in Express Scribe. Go to Options, System-wide Hotkeys, click the Add button. Under Command, click the drop-down list and click Copy Time. Click Change button and press a key or a key combination in your keyboard. For example, I'm assigning F8 to copy time and click OK. To insert the timestamp on your document, press F8 on the keyboard and then press Ctrl V to paste the time. Next, turning to speaker identification. Editors need to add the speakers' names whenever they are introduced or if there is any speaker change. For example, operator is starting the call and then he hands the call over to the chairman, Martin. Have a check if the speaker's name is correctly transcribed. After ensuring that the speaker's name is right, you can add the speaker's name and proceed. You can add the speakers easily when they are introduced, but it is tedious to find the speaker's name if they are not introduced in the later part of the presentation. So, we need to insert a timestamp whenever a speaker is introduced so that we can go back and review it later. For example, here the operator is introducing an analyst to ask a question. Hence, we know the name of the analyst. But when a management speaker begins to answer the question, he might not introduce himself and it will be difficult to find their names. So inserting a timestamp whenever a new management speaker is introduced will help you in identifying the speaker's voice. For example, we are putting a timestamp when Martin is introduced. Press F8 and paste the timestamp and you can make a note of his tone, his speed and his accent for easy identification. So in the later part of the presentation, it will help you to identify and add their names. Also, you can go back to that particular part of the audio when the speaker is introduced and recheck the speaker's voice. There are few guidelines that an editor needs to follow. The first one is verbatim. False start should be included. When speaker says one thing and then goes back and changes what he was saying, for example, here the speaker starts with, so they have also to fill, we have also the supply chain topic. Here, speaker starts with one context and then changes the context. Everything should be included. You can differentiate it by putting double hyphen. Filler words that are totally meaningless can be avoided. For example, you know, like, kind of, sort of. These verbal tics should be avoided. Be careful not to omit words that are not fillers which are necessary to make a sentence complete. Also, don't transcribe thinking noises which are not direct response. Okay, like, well, Do not omit direct responses. Slang forms should not be used. Gonna, wanna, cause. Instead, use going to, want to, because. If there are words in the audio that you cannot transcribe even after multiple attempts, use inaudible or indecipherable. Or if you are not sure about any particular word, use phonetic near to that word. The format varies according to different style guide. You can also insert timestamp near inaudible or phonetic so that you can go back and listen to it later. With all of the above, the basic part of how to go about with editing a transcript has been covered. An editor has to have a final spell check, clear the unclear word marks, correct the punctuation, and ensure that the final transcript is formatted based on the client specifications before delivering it. Attention to detail is very important. An editor must be constantly rereading as they are typing to make sure they don't miss anything and are in sync with the context spoken. A good editor needs to be an experienced Googler. Editors need to have the ability to find information regarding any topic. You need to know how to search the internet for information, and especially what keywords to use to get the necessary information. An editor should have grammar, punctuation, and spelling proficiencies to provide tidy transcripts without compromising the meaning and original thought of the dialogues. And to become a qualified editor, one must be focused and determined to get the job done competently. A 60 minutes duration file is expected to be edited in 3 hours. An editor should be able to neglect unnecessary distractions and concentrate for long periods of time while editing to ensure complete accuracy and timelines of work. We believe by now you should have learned a lot and understood, but still there will be doubts. I will go further to say that you should have doubts, as that is a practice of a good learner. So do go through the material once again to the parts where you have doubts on and come back to us with those so that we could help you in becoming better. Take care and thanks for being patient with the learning materials. Do also let us know your comments on the training through the feedback questionnaire that we should share once you inform us you're done with the training. Best of luck with our further steps.